In recent years, we've witnessed a dramatic shift in South Asia. Autocratic leaders who once held tight grips on their nations are falling one by one. First it was Sri Lanka, then came the waves of protests and resistance in Bangladesh and Pakistan. The question on everyone's mind now is who's next? This region has a history of political upheaval and change. As we look to the future, the dynamics of power continue to evolve. Let's rewind to understand how we got here. In Sri Lanka, economic mismanagement led to an unprecedented crisis. Power cuts, food shortages, and skyrocketing inflation fueled massive protests. The once powerful Rajapaksa regime crumbled under the pressure of its own failures. Misguided policies like excessive borrowing and tax cuts worsened the situation. The people said enough is enough, and change followed. In Bangladesh, discontent grew over corruption, political suppression, and inequality. The youth, particularly students, stood at the forefront demanding transparency and fairness. Though the changes have been slow, the pressure on the government continues to build. Notable protests include the 2018 road safety movement and the 2013 Shahbag movement. In Pakistan, political turmoil escalated as economic instability worsened. The removal of Prime Minister Imran Khan sparked nationwide protests. The growing public frustration with corruption and power struggles pushed the nation to the brink of major change. The government's crackdown on dissent only fueled the fire, leading to more intense and widespread demonstrations. These events aren't isolated. The ripple effect is spreading. So, which nations in the region are most vulnerable to the next wave of anti-autocratic movements? Under military rule since 2021, Myanmar faces widespread dissent. The population's resistance to authoritarianism shows no signs of fading. Political instability and public discontent over governance could lead to major shifts in Nepal. Rising concerns over corruption and political interference are testing the limits of public patience in the Maldives. Sri Lanka's economic crisis has sparked widespread protests and public unrest. South Asia is at a turning point where people are reclaiming their voices and demanding accountable leadership. As history shows, no regime lasts forever when the people demand change. The fall of autocrats is not just a possibility, it's a movement in motion. Which country do you think will see the next major political change? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more insights on global transformations. Let's delve deeper into the economic factors that led to the crisis in Sri Lanka. The country's heavy reliance on tourism and foreign remittances made it particularly vulnerable to global economic shifts. When the COVID-19 pandemic hit, tourism plummeted and remittances declined sharply. Additionally, the government's borrowing spree for ambitious infrastructure projects left it with unsustainable debt levels. These loans, often taken from international lenders at high interest rates, strained the national budget. Compounding the problem was poor fiscal management. Misguided tax cuts and subsidies further eroded the government's revenue base, while corruption and inefficiencies siphoned off critical resources. These factors combined created a perfect storm that led to the current crisis. Understanding these economic underpinnings is crucial for grasping the full scope of Sri Lanka's predicament and for anticipating future challenges in similar economies. Now let's take a closer look at the role of social media in these movements. In Bangladesh, platforms like Facebook and Twitter have been instrumental in organizing protests and spreading awareness. The youth have used these tools to bypass traditional media censorship and mobilize support for their cause. In Sri Lanka, social media played a pivotal role in the people's revolt. Hashtags and viral posts brought international attention to the crisis, amplifying the voices of those on the ground. Activists used live streams to document events in real time, ensuring that the world could witness their struggle. Similarly, in Pakistan, social media has been a double-edged sword. While it has provided a platform for dissent and dialogue, it has also been a battleground for misinformation and propaganda. Despite these challenges, the digital space remains a vital tool for activists across the region. As we continue to watch these movements unfold, it's clear that social media will remain a powerful force in shaping the future of South Asia. In Pakistan, the judiciary has played a significant role in the political landscape. The courts have been involved in high-profile cases against political leaders, which has added another layer of complexity to the political turmoil. We'll explore some of these cases and their impact on the country's politics, from disqualifications of prime ministers to corruption charges against influential figures. The judiciary's decisions have reverberated through the corridors of power. These legal battles have often been seen as a litmus test for the rule of law in Pakistan, highlighting the tensions between different branches of government. One notable case was the disqualification of a sitting prime minister on corruption charges, a landmark decision that sent shockwaves through the political establishment. This judicial intervention was hailed by some as a victory for accountability, while others viewed it as judicial overreach. Another significant case involved the judiciary's role in overseeing elections and ensuring their fairness. The courts have been called